Hello, I'm Dr. Chris Magiera from Warsaw, Indiana, and I am running for the United States House of Representatives from the 3rd Congressional District of Indiana. In order to constitutionally legislate, members of Congress must be aware of the history of our Union and our Constitution. Sadly, today, not many are so inclined. Today, I would like to briefly touch on the ideas of the founders, framers, and ratifiers on the subject of military spending. On 12/11/2019, the House concurred in the conference report with the Senate on S. 1790, National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2020. My opponent voted in favor of the report, topping out at about $735 billion. A bill like this is bound to attract controversy. U.S. military expenditures are roughly the size of the next 7 largest military budgets around the world combined. Whether or not this is all appropriate for defense or is constitutional is not the point to be made here. The founders had much aversion to and respect for war, and had distrust of standing armies. So, in case you thought that concern for these issues is only a product of modern history, think again. Allow me to present 4 short quotes from the founders. Patrick Henry, 1788, and I quote, "When the American spirit was in its youth, the language of America was different. Liberty, sir, was then the primary object." End quote. John Dickinson, 1767, quote, "If money be raised upon us by others without our consent for our defense, those who are the judges in levying it must also be the judges in applying it. Of consequence, the money said to be taken from us for our defense may be employed to our injury." End quote. James Madison, 1795, and I quote, "Of all the enemies to public liberty, war is perhaps the most to be dreaded, because it comprises and develops the germ of every other. War is the parent of armies. From these proceed debts and taxes. And armies and debts and taxes are the known instruments for bringing the many under the domination of the few. No nation could preserve its freedom in the midst of continual warfare." End quote. And lastly, again, James Madison, 1798. "Perhaps it is a universal truth that the loss of liberty at home is to be charged to provisions against danger, real or pretended, from abroad." Prophetic indeed. If elected to represent the 3rd District of Indiana in the House of Representatives, I pledge to be guided by the teachings of the founders and to scrupulously apply the Constitution to all legislative acts, especially those dealing with war and armies. So I urge you to vote to secure your God-given natural rights and liberties. In 2020, vote for the Constitution solution. Vote for Dr. Chris Magiera for Congress. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, or share. I'm Chris Magiera, and I approve this message. Paid for by Friends of Chris Magiera, Incorporated.